In this video, I'm going to show you how to install the Bimmertech Alpha 1 speakers in an F57 Mini Cooper. Let's go. What's up, everyone? I'm Steve and you're watching F33. Now, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss when a new video drops. Now, the F57 came with the base audio system, and for what it's worth, it sounds alright for stock. I also wasn't too worried about it since I knew that I was going to upgrade the speakers anyway. Now, I wanted something that would be a drop-in replacement and completely reversible. I wasn't at all interested in cutting the factory wiring or making any additional mounting holes in the car. Now, when I was researching my options, I heard a lot of great things about Bimmertech, so I thought for this build, let's try them out and see how they sound. Now, I've never heard these speakers in person. I've only heard them in YouTube videos, which never sounds like anything in real life, so I'm really excited to see how these are going to sound. Now, many of you who watch my channel also have BMWs, and the cool thing is that since BMW makes Mini, most of these steps are going to be similar. Now, when I was talking to the folks over at Bimmertech, they told me that the Alpha 1 brand was created specifically to be a plug-and-play replacement to OEM systems for people like me who love quality audio. Now, I, for one, love quality audio. I store all my music in FLAC, and if I do stream, it's always at the highest bit rate. Now, they have a few different packages depending on what factory system you have, but the installation is going to be the same. Now, I chose to go with the front end woofer set, which covers the front door mid-range speakers, the A-pillar tweeters, and the under-seat subwoofers. Now, I wanted to keep this video short, so in this video, we're just going to be covering the mid-range speaker install. Now, my previous video, I installed the Alpha 1 subwoofers, and holy cow, do they sound amazing. I'll also be putting out another video that covers retrofitting the tweeters. Now, Bimmertech also has an amplifier upgrade as well, but I wanted to get these speakers upgraded first so that I could hear the difference in quality, not just the volume. But I do intend on getting the amplifier upgrade in the future. All right, so let's head out to the car and get these speakers installed. The tools needed for this install are a T20, trim tools, and a pick tool. The difficulty for this install is easy. All right, so I wanted to give a quick sound test of the before. Again, this is the hi-fi system. So bass subs, bass speakers, bass radio. We'll just get a kind of an idea of the clarity and the volume and where it cuts out and things like that. And then after we upgrade the subs, we'll do a sound test, and again, after we upgrade the doors, we'll do another sound test and just kind of see what these incremental changes do to the sound quality in the Mini. So let's start out with the first song here, and I'll start out with kind of a medium volume and work my way up and see where it cuts out. All right, so right now we're midway. And I have this running off of a USB stick. These are all FLAC, so the highest quality I could get. All right, so not too bad. You can definitely tell that there's subs in the car. Let me crank it up a little louder. Okay. It's about 3/4 of the way up. All right, so I noticed that once I go above 3/4 of the way, I could start to hear the speakers kind of pop. They were at their limit. Let me try out a different song here and see what that sounds like. I'm just going up to the 3/4 mark here. Sounds pretty good. let's try another one here. I'm gonna see if I can find something. Here we go. All right, so the mids sounded okay. They sound a little muddy, but the bass is no good. The bass was really mushy, especially on this song. This song really brought out the inability for the subs to do their job. At low volumes, it sounds perfectly great, but once you crank it up, it sounds like trash. We'll do one more here. All right, so again, same thing, kind of mushy. It sounds okay for stock. I mean, there's a lot of cars that don't have a sub at all, and this has two, one under each seat. So it's definitely better than your average car, but I think we can do better. So why don't we head, we'll do an unboxing of the speakers, and then we'll get to the install. All right, so I wanted to do a quick unboxing. Right off the bat, very nice packaging, looks very fancy. Looks like when you are gonna open this up, you're in for something special. So we get a card here, just talks about the speakers and why Bimmertech started Alpha 1. We got a sticker, always love those. And then we have the subs. And holy cow, do these things look awesome. So I'll just take one out here. And I love the design of these. Just really good quality. All metal. Nice big magnet. Just really nice. Really good quality. And I'll do a comparison once we take out this stock sub, and we'll see what the Alpha 1 looks like compared to the stock. All right, and then let's go ahead and let's open up the speakers. So again, same style box. All right, and so first thing first, we have a tweeter upgrade. So the Mini didn't come with tweeters. However, there is a retrofit to add tweeters, so that's something that we're gonna do. That's gonna be a cool project. I just have to get the A-pillars for it. And then we have the mid-range door speakers. Again, very nice quality. The magnets look awesome. I mean, just the design of these, really cool. Can't wait to get these installed. And then also in the box, they give you, looks like maybe a crossover. And then you also get some other wires and things to connect these tweeters. So they give you wires to go from the mid-range speakers through the doors and then up to the A-pillars so that you can retrofit the tweeters into your system. All right, so that's the unboxing. Why don't we head over and get these speakers installed? All right, so I wanted to give a quick look at the difference between the Alpha 1 and the stock. Obviously, that this is the stock and this is the Alpha 1. You can just tell the quality difference between the two. I mean, the magnet size is so much bigger on the Alpha 1. The design is awesome. And you can tell just the feel of the cone. This is obviously a paper cone. This is not. This is just really good quality. Even the foam is a lot thicker on the Alpha 1 speaker. So this is going to be a great upgrade for the Mini. Also, what's cool is you're going to be able to see this speaker through the grill in the door of the Mini. So you are going to get a little bit of an aesthetic look, which is really, really cool. All right, so swapping out these door speakers is extremely easy. You just have a couple T20s, one here, one underneath the switches, and then there's one here, and then one here down underneath. Those are going to be really hard for me to show you, but these two up here, super easy. So first thing that you'll need is a trim tool, and you're basically just going to stick the trim tool right here, and then this piece comes out, and there is a T20 right behind there. And then for the window switches, I found that if you stick a trim tool right behind where plastic meets plastic, not this shiny piece, it is easier to remove. There we go. So that just lifts out there. And then there is a plug here. Now, the driver's side plug is a little bit different than the passenger side plug. The passenger side plug you just pull out, but the driver's side plug has a little locking tab here. So you're just gonna press the button right on the top, and then this gray tab is going to slide down, and then you can pull out the harness. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the T20s. So the one here, you can see there's just a little hole here. This is where the one T20 is. Okay, and this is what this one looks like. All right, and then we'll go ahead and remove this one right down here. There we go. And then these two under here are going to be really difficult for me to show you. You just kind of have to feel around until you find them. And they're at somewhat of an angle as well. All right, and then the other one's right here. All right, so the door is just held on by a series of clips now that the screws are out. So there's some clips all around the edges. But unlike a lot of doors where after you remove those clips, you lift the door up and it really is just sitting in a channel here, that is not the case with this door. The door is actually clipped in. So there's a series of clips up on the top here along where the window comes out. So you're actually going to pull the door out instead of lifting it up. So you just want to be careful with the door lock as you do that. But just wanted to let you know that this is much different than other doors. So I really like this trim tool here to kind of get underneath. It's really thin and wide. And then it also has kind of a hooked end here. So I like to really start kind of on one of the corners here and put it in, and you can hear it already popped. All right, and I just kind of used this as some additional leverage. So we're just going to go along the bottom here and continue to pop the clips. All right. So basically I've got the sides and bottom, so now I'm just working on this side here. And depending on how new your door is, and if it's been off before, some of these can be kind of a pain.
But just take your time and it will come out. All right, and so here we have the series of top clips. So I'm just gonna start over at this side here. And you're just gonna wanna pull straight out. There we go. And then we don't need to undo all the cabling or anything like that, but there is a clip here that we'll want to take out. That way we can kind of get a little bit more length. So it just goes in this little spot here. And then you can lay the door kind of down there and out of the way, and there is the speaker. All right, so here we have our speaker, and we just have 3 T20s to remove it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove. Now I'm using a drill to remove the T20s, but please do not use a drill to put them in. They're not that long, I'm just kind of doing it to speed up the video a little. But you do not want to crack the plastic housing here. All right, so at this point, you can just take the speaker here. There's a little wire clip here. And then this blue plug, this is just going to pull out. And just grab by the blue plug and just rock it back and forth. It will come out, but sometimes it's kind of difficult. All right, so at this point, we can just put in the Alpha 1 speaker and be done with it. But I'm actually gonna put in some sound deadening material behind this mount here, just to kind of deaden that panel a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these other 3 T20s. And then this is gonna come off. All right, so there's a lot of different brands of sound deadening material. I've used this Kill Mat in the past and it seems to work really well. I know there's also SoundSkins and a few other brands, Dynamat, but this is what I've used. It's a pretty good price. I'll link to it down in the description below. But basically we're just going to cut it kind of relatively to size. I know you can peel this weather stripping here and get it underneath, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna kind of put it on here and then just trim around it. And this stuff is pretty sticky. So I'm just gonna put it down kind of like that. And then I'm just going to use a knife and just kind of trim where that weather stripping is. And obviously you don't want to cut too deep because you don't want to slice your car or the stripping. Just making really shallow cuts. Most of the stuff is kind of a gummy type material. There we go. And then basically we just need to cut a hole in the middle. So I'm just gonna kind of feel out where that is. Okay. Then I'm gonna make a series of slices. And then just push those in and wrap it around onto the inside. Now you can just take a rolling tool here, and I basically take the end and I just go on the inside here and just roll it tight, and then kind of roll out the bigger pieces. And then I'll take the end again and kind of roll in. All right, so at this point, you just want to find where the screws are. So I know that there's one right here. You can kind of feel the inside. There's another one here and another one right here. And so we'll just poke a screw in there just to kind of get it started. All right, so that's that one. And there's another one right here. There we go. And then the other one is right, let's see, where'd it go? Right here. There we go. All right, so now you can take your mount, and these only go on one way, so when you kind of tilt it around, you're like, oh, that doesn't fit, and then you kind of move it around and you get to a spot where it fits. And so this looks like the good spot. And don't go too crazy tightening these in. They are tightening into plastic. So just go until you feel resistance. All right, so now you want to take your Alpha 1 speaker as well as the crossover and kind of connect everything up. There is kind of a directionality to this crossover. So it says amp in on this side, mid out on this side. And then on the Alpha 1, you'll see that there's actually two inputs on it. It doesn't matter which one you connect this up to. The other one is for the tweeter. So it'll figure out what you're doing. So I'm just going to connect it to the bottom one. And it only goes in one way. There we go. And then we'll connect this one up. Again, only goes in one way. And then we will mount the speaker. And the speaker also only goes in one way. I mean, you really can't mess this up. You got to be really trying to mess this up. And even then, I don't think you could, even if you tried. And then also at this point, I would suggest testing out the speaker to make sure everything is working properly. All right. And then there is a kind of wire clip over here, so I'm just gonna pop that in. And then Bimmertech did include some sticky here on the crossover. So I'm just going to, I'm gonna stick it right, I guess right about here. That looks good. And then to avoid any rattling, I'm gonna put some electrical tape and just kind of tape everything down. That way you don't get, any vibrations or anything like that. And I'm probably going a little overboard, but that's all right. All right, so at that point, we can just start putting the door back together. We're basically going to do everything in reverse. So we'll pick our door up. And you're just gonna wanna run this cable through the little channel that you took it out of. And then this clip here, you're just going to wanna put it back where it was. All right, so I like to put the top in first. Just put your lock in. There we go. And then you're just gonna kind of line up the tabs at the top. You pull it, kind of press it in place. So I'm basically sticking my hands on either side and just squeezing, and you'll feel them clip. There we go. And then just take your fingers here and just pull the weather stripping, just slide your finger in between. That'll kind of seal that up. Test your door lock. Okay. And then from this point, you're just going to carefully line up the holes and press. And once you start getting these in, they'll start to go in easier. And then just run your finger along and it should be like seamless against the edge. All right, so at this point, just start putting in the screws. I like to start at the bottom. Okay, we'll get the other one. All right, so now we have the last two. So we'll just put the one behind here. All right, and then we'll put the one down here by the window switches. All right, so here's a better look at the screws. Here's the one behind the door lock. And here is the one underneath the window switches. And then here's also a close-up look at that lock. All right, so at this point we can put those trim pieces back in. So this is just going to slide in. Nothing tricky there. And then the window switch, we're just gonna take and plug it in. Only goes one way. And I like to push it in by hand and not use the lever to push it in. Once it's all the way in, then I just make sure that the lever's locked. And then this is going to slide in from the front. You can see this is a tab, whereas these are spring clips. So we're just going to kind of tuck the wire in there, push in the front so that that tab is locked in, and then push it in from the back. And that's it. You can see, hopefully this shows up on camera, but you can see that Alpha 1 speaker in here, and it looks amazing. It's got just sort of a metallic look that shows through. It's not just a shadowy black inside. So that is really, really cool. I like that a lot. Really good design on their part. So now that everything is in and ready to go, why don't we do a sound test? I'm really excited to see how this is gonna sound. All right, so now that the mids are in the doors, the subwoofers are in. That was in the last video, so if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out. Now that those are both in, I'm really excited to hear what this is gonna sound like. Both these mods were really easy. You just needed a couple tools, mainly a T20, a trim tool, and a T50. Very easy. I'm really excited to hear what this sounds like. Now in the last video when we did the subs, I just was using my lav mic, which got a little distorted because the subs were that much louder. So it actually, the mic couldn't handle it. But I have a Rode mic up on top hovering over the car. And so hopefully that will get some better audio and maybe some crisper audio for you so you can hear, you know, somewhat what it sounds like. Obviously, it's still over YouTube, but hopefully you can get a better idea of what this sounds like. So without further ado, I'm really excited. Let's hear what it sounds like. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. This is so crisp and clear. I'm stoked. I mean, the audio in this is incredible. Changing those mids in the doors just woke the entire thing up. I mean, it's like the old speakers had like a really thick comforter over them and they were just smothered and you couldn't get the crisp, clear highs that you knew the song had. But putting in these door speakers, it sounds amazing. The whole thing has come alive. And we didn't even do the rear speakers. I mean, it's kind of small back there, so really nobody can sit back there. But I'm excited to get those in too. So eventually I'll put those in. But just these doors and subs, it sounds incredible. All right, let's hear another one here. Wow. It's so clear. It is just so clear. I can't describe what I'm hearing. It's just it's so clear. It sounds like the people playing the music are sitting in the car with me, just playing it right there. I mean, the sound stage is incredible. It sounds really, really good. right, let's pick a different one here. There we go. All right, so one difference between, previously when we tried that song out and now is before I was getting a ton of distortion out of the doors. I could tell that the subs made a difference, but the doors were totally distorted. And now there is zero distortion coming out of these doors. I do want to say that because I only swapped out the doors, I did push the soundstage a little bit forward. The rear speakers are still firing. They're still on. I just kind of pushed it, I think like 4 clicks forward. So I got a little bit more soundstage, in front of me, and that these doors were pushed a little harder. But this sounds really, really good. I'm gonna try out a different song here. Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing. You can tell that these speakers can handle a lot more. I had it all the way up. I gave it everything that the car had to give, and there was zero distortion coming out of these speakers. Nothing out of the doors, nothing out of the subs, zero distortion. I mean, that is just incredible. Let's see this one here. So clear. Woo. It almost sounds like a home theater in here. Wow, that sounds so good. This song, you can hear the sound bouncing between the two doors. I could sit here and listen to music all day. Obviously, you're not getting the full effect because you're not here. But honestly, this is a fantastic upgrade for the Mini. And I'm seriously just going to go driving right now just so I can listen to the audio. But this is an incredible update. I highly, highly recommend this upgrade for your Mini or BMW. I mean, these speakers also work in the BMW as well. I can't say enough about this upgrade. It is so, so good.
Now, as you saw, the Bimmertech Alpha 1 speakers in the F57 are really easy and should only take you about an hour to an hour and a half to install. Now, with all speakers, I'm going to assume that these are the same and need some sort of break-in period before they are at their peak performance, but right off the bat, they sound incredible. There's already such an improvement, and I can't wait to hear how they sound once they're fully broken in. I'm also looking forward to swapping out the stock amp with the Alpha 1 amplifier. I mean, that amplifier puts out an absurd 1600 watts of peak power. Now, as always, I have put links in the description below to all the products and tools needed for this install. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, smash it if that's what you're into, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.